Right, so in today's video, I want to talk just a little bit about the best way to actually water your lawn this summer and making sure that when you're putting water down, it's actually doing what you want it to actually do. We're going through a period at the moment where it's extremely dry and, you know, we've not had a decent rainfall since kind of mid to late March. So I'm using the SumiSoaker today to water the lawn, and I'm doing that just for a few reasons. And the first of which is that when you water the lawn with something like this, the water particles are really, really small. And the reason why that's quite beneficial is because when your lawn is this dry, or when the soil's this dry, should I say, it almost becomes hydrophobic. And what that basically means is that it becomes like quite repellent to water, and if you water too heavily, a lot of that water can pool at the top. Now, it will soak down eventually, but if you've got any kind of gradient to your lawn, that water can kind of move with that gradient, leaving certain parts drier than others because that water is going to come down too fast. And with the fine mist from this, just means that it's putting water down a little bit more slowly, a little more gently, and that way it can kind of soak in a little bit easier. I'm not sure how well it picks it up on camera, but you can see it's kind of like rain in a sense. Sort of emulates nature, and that's kind of what your rain's going to do. But because it is so gentle, I mean, if you leave it on for 40 minutes, I'm telling you now, you're getting pools on your lawn. But yeah, you want to be watering slowly to allow that water to really soak in. I see a lot of stuff online where it talks about, you know, using things like tuna cans or those little yellow cups from Amazon to make sure you're getting the right amounts of water distributed across your entire lawn. Now, if you've got a bit of an odd shape, then there's going to be spaces obviously where there might be dry spots, and worst case scenario, you put your sprinkler on and then you just go over and spray those by hand. We're not managing golf courses or football pitches. We don't need to be kind of hyper accurate as to how much water we put down. My general rule of thumb is that if you put your sprinkler on from anywhere from like 15 minutes to 20 minutes, that's usually enough time to get enough water down. You're watering the soil. The longer you leave it on for, the more likely it is for that water to make its way down into the soil, getting further down, and then when it gets a little bit warmer later on in the day, like for example today, it's going to be around about 25 degrees. That top layer of soil might dry out to some extent, but that soil below is going to retain some more of that moisture, and then it's going to mean the roots of the plants are going to go searching for it. Then you get a stronger root system, get a stronger plant, and that's because you've left your sprinkler on for enough time to let all that water soak through. In terms of how often you need to water your lawn, there's not really like a set rule that everyone needs to abide by. A lot of it's going to be soil type dependent. It's going to be location dependent as well, in terms of how much shade does your lawn get, how much sun does it get. This one gets sort of 50% shade at the moment, so it's going to need a lot less water than a lawn that's going to be sitting in the sun all day. I'm only going to be watering this lawn once a week. It was watered last weekend, watering it this weekend, whereas if it was sitting in the sun all day, I'd probably water it twice a week just to make sure that there's enough moisture there deeper down. And yeah, we have got a hot week ahead of time for recording, and by the end of the week the soil's going to be quite dry. But like I've already said, it's going to encourage those roots to go searching for the water and to have a healthier plant. That's what you want it to do. We intervene with our lawns by feeding them, by cutting them, by watering them, but really we've got to let nature do its thing as well. We've got to work with nature, not against nature, and that way we get a much healthier, denser lawn. And you might not necessarily see the benefits of that in the summer, but you'll certainly see them in the winter. But in terms of the best time to water your lawn, there's really two, and there's a lot of misinformation out there about one of them. So it kind of goes without saying, you know, the morning's a great time because it's in shade and the sun isn't baking the lawn. It's just going to enable the water to soak down, get deeper. For all those reasons I've already mentioned, that's the benefits of it. What I have noticed though is there does seem to be a little bit of misinformation out there about, you know, watering your lawn in the evening, and some people see it as, you know, the devil's work, and if you do it, then your lawn's going to be riddled with disease. Well, not necessarily. If you think about how you get disease in your lawn, it's when the moisture sits for too long in the sward, and that's why people say watering your lawn in the morning is probably more beneficial, because once the sun gets onto it, it's going to dry out the leaves, but it's going to keep the soil below nice and moist. Well, yeah, if you water your lawn in the evening, the sward's going to stay a little bit wet overnight, but it's only staying wet for a few hours. It has to be like a prolonged period of your grass staying wet. At a time like this now, watering in the evening is probably the best thing to do, because that water is going to completely soak, and as the night goes on, it's just going to soak further and further down, which means when the sun hits it in the morning, a lot of that water's kind of escaped and gone deeper, which means the roots are going to have something to drink when it's baking hot like it is this week. Don't be that person who goes on Google and believes every single thing, because where your lawn is, your soil type, you know, the type of grass species you have is all going to play a role. Look at these patches here of soil. You'll notice that there's no pooling whatsoever. You know, the water's coming down in a really, really light mist, and it's meaning that we're not going to get puddles across the lawn. That water's just going to soak in nice and slowly. None of it's being displaced. It's all going exactly where you want it to go. And it's not just watering your lawn, it's actually getting your soil to retain that moisture and preventing the sun from evaporating it all and making it, you know, really, really dry. And one way to do that is to have a grass that is really dense. If we get right in over the top of this sward here, you can see how unbelievably dense it is. And what that's going to mean, that tight canopy, is that's going to prevent a lot of evaporation taking place, which is going to make sure that most of that moisture is retained and used by the plants rather than just going back up into the sky. A lot of people are getting out and renovating the lawns at the moment, and they're scarifying it and they're getting new seed down and putting some compost down, and that's all good and well because they're trying to get the lawns to bounce back this year and get them looking absolutely boss. And that's why timing your renovations is really important too, because you want to time it for when you've got a decent amount of rainfall. You waste less water, but also you're letting nature do most of the hard work for you. Now for this one, the only thing I'm doing differently is I'm just going to water it by hand. If you do it this way, you'll notice that I'm not staying in one space for too long, and it's purely because of what I said before about your soil sometimes becoming like quite hydrophobic when you're watering it during like hot weather like we've got now. The water's going to sit on that surface for quite a while and it's going to displace. It doesn't have to be super precise. This thing about you needing a specific amount of water down onto your lawn, yeah, there's some method in it, but you've got to think about it as, how do you know how much moisture there already is in your soil? How do you know how much moisture specifically your soil needs? And yeah, you can work all that stuff out. You can pull cores and you can get machine fella things to do tests to work out exactly the correct amount of millilitres you've got to put down onto your lawn. But why? What's the point? You don't need to be getting super specific. As soon as you start trying to run your garden like a golf course, you've kind of got lawn care wrong, because you know the stuff that takes place on actual, you know, sports fields and sports facilities is so much different, and they've got massive spaces, so putting the right amount of water down matters because it costs a lot of money, and putting the right amount of products down and being really specific about everything is, you know, it's all because of money. Whereas when I've got a lawn this size, you know, if I water it a little bit too much, what's it going to cost me? A few more p. If I water it a little bit too less, well, I can just get on with a little bit more water and job will be a good one. So people like to think they're running a golf course. You know, you're running a garden. It's meant to be simple. And if you work with nature, you're going to save money and you're going to get much better results from doing so. If you're watering a massive space, then you might want to stick in one area for quite some time, but just go across a larger space and then come back over it. Don't just blast one small space for too long. So there we go, the lawns are being watered, and it's just using common sense. Let's keep lawn care simple. Let's water our lawns in the simplest possible way, because we want to get the best results for doing kind of minimal work. Because if you give your lawn too much support through the summer, it's going to really struggle over the winter. Hence why we get a lot of dieback, because you want this grass to be almost as independent as possible with just a tiny bit of intervention from yourself. So thanks for watching today's video. If you found it useful or enjoyed it, feel free to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and the link to the Instagram is in the description below. Also the TikTok is Novice Gardener Official. And yeah, finally, thanks for watching.